This is Nikki in Niagara, and I am your host, Nikki, coming to you live from Niagara Falls, Canada. And this is what I have been promising, and a few of you have been asking me about, is the beginning of my complete coloring book collection, and finishes. A few notes I want to make at the beginning of this video, and it'll only be at the beginning of part 1. Future videos I'm going to refer you to part 1. So my books are in order, but I'm taking them out of order, if that makes any sense. So when you're seeing the books, they're really in no particular order unless I tell you they are. Secondly, I have been coloring for quite a long time. I did take a break, and we'll call that before YouTubing and after YouTubing. So before I YouTubed and I colored to add stuff to my collage work, art journal, and daily creative journal that I used to do when I was heavily into mixed media. So you won't see any finishes from those early days, those before YouTubing days, as we're calling them. All my finishes will appear to be recent. That doesn't mean that I didn't finish pages in the past. I just cut them up when I was done with them. I really didn't have any feeling of keeping coloring books at that time. It was trying to use them up. I liked to use the pages for travelers to insert into travelers' notebooks, and then I would use those for my creative daily journaling. So yeah, so that's why when you see my books, there will be books that I've had since before, because I had never worked in them. But the finishes that you see are going to be mostly current. I won't say there isn't one or two hanging around from the old days, because I know there's going to be. I have a lot of color by number books. I have quite an extensive collection, so I'm going to spread those out throughout the parts, so that we don't get them just going on and on and on for people who aren't into them. So let me think, was there anything else that I wanted to say? I guess the last thing I want to say is that I color for fun. I don't practice techniques or learn special ways, like I don't learn how to color a face and all that kind of stuff. I straight color for the most part. I do know how to blend with a pencil, so when I use pencils, there's some blending. It's not, you know, professional blending like some of the wonderful colorists out there. Take my coloring as what it is, enjoyment for myself, and hopefully my pictures bring some pleasure to others. That's all I can really hope. So that's out of the way. I'm not going to repeat any of that information. If you forget it and you want to remember it, go back to part 1. And as I said in the upcoming videos, I'm not going to repeat any of this. It will just be letting people know to go back here to find out that info. So I forgot my pop, and I'm going to need that because of my talking. And speaking of talking, I had the funniest comment on an older video of mine this morning. And the commenter said, I like your videos, but you talk too much. And I broke out laughing, because nobody has ever told me I talk too much. Usually it's, speak up. Why don't you say something? Usually in a group of people, I'm the quiet one and I'm the listener. So that's funny that I talk too much. Maybe I do here on YouTube. Maybe talking is my thing here. So I need to straighten the camera because that little angle is driving me nuts. So just wait a sec. There we go. And we're going to start. Going to start with some color by numbers. And we're actually starting with the Belba family books. I have all of their books, and all of them here are except one. Well, I guess that's another note I should have made, is that the books that I'm currently working in, I won't be doing that day. So when you listen to this video, there won't be any books that I'm currently working in. I'll do them in between my working on them. Not that that matters to you. Okay, so anyways, this was Belba Family's first book, and they did it in conjunction with another one. They released them both at the same time. And I saw an ad on Instagram. It was the first time I'd seen the ad, and I was cheeky enough to contact them and ask them if they would send me a copy to review. And they did, and ever since I have been reviewing for them. So, I love their books. So we start off with Animal Mosaic, 20 classic pop art pictures, color by number, anti-stress activity art book, simply by Belba Family. They are a company and have artists. So this is a color by number, and it's one where we have the picture divided up into numbers, and then we color them. These are geometrical. They're divided up geometrically into triangles and parallelograms and that sort of thing. Mostly triangles, except where one wouldn't fit. So that's why they're called Animal Mosaic. If the lines were thicker, they would look like what we really think of as a mosaic. So that's what the book looks like, and that's what I'm going to do. Just give you a really brief flip. If you want to see a flip through of any book, then please comment down below and ask me for a flip through. First, you may want to go to my playlist called Books and Magazine Flip Throughs and have a look through there to see if I already have flipped it, because many of the books I have indeed flipped for you. Excuse me. So, my finished pages. I've only done the first few in this one. This is the book that I've colored in the least. And it's not that I don't mind it. I love this one. That was Maria the Zebra from July of 2019. And Kitty the Butterfly, again from July 2019. And that must be around when Belba Company started their producing their books. And that's all I've done in that one. I'll have to get that one out and color in it again. So this is the one that they published in conjunction with the other one. It's the same type of thing. It's a travel mosaic, amazing landscapes and people, color by number, by Belba Family. And again, we have regular pictures that are divided up into segments which you color. The segments in this one are not geometrical. They are in the shapes of what the objects are. The other ones are simply an animal on a page. These are complete scenes that we're seeing here. And of course you can tell what they are by looking at them. And there's some really nice ones in here. They color up really nicely as well. So we'll see the ones I've done. With color by number books, it is more often than not that I will start at the beginning of the book and work my way through. I don't know why I always do that. It's just the way I've done it. So this one is a Mexican gentleman. This is a picture of close to the ocean. As sometimes in my pictures you're going to see messes like this and blobs like that. You may even see lines striggling down. That is because I have a problem of falling asleep when I'm doing stuff. And when I fall asleep when I'm coloring, I end up doing a bit of coloring while I'm asleep. So yeah, that's what my viewers come to know about me. So this is Close to the Ocean. This one is a bungalow, and the colors are pretty in these. They turn out attractive looking. This is a painter. And this one is Paris. And the really cool thing that I liked about this is if you take a look at this picture, you see the Eiffel Tower and the buildings and the car. Well, our painter here is painting that picture. There's the tower and the buildings and a car. So if you keep your eyes open, you'll notice that. And then this one here is a place called Bodrum. I remember looking it up to see where it was, but I do not remember anymore. Something is telling me Turkey, but I'm not sure. And then we come back to a Vietnamese lady. And then we have the flower fields. And that's all I've done in this one. Occasionally I start my first picture in the middle of a book, so it won't be the same as what everybody else is posting. If it's a book that's being reviewed by a lot of people, or colored at the same time if it's just come out. So the next one is in the same category, and it is Christmas and Travel Mosaics, an adult color by number book with relaxing pages of Christmas scenes around the world. And I really like this one because it's Christmas in all sorts of different countries, so we see what Santa looks like in those countries, and sometimes there aren't even Santas. It just shows us how the celebration looks in that country. So this one is more of what we expect from a standard color by number book. It is the complete picture, the drawn picture, with the numbers inserted into them. So that's what they look like. I'm pretty sure I didn't do one in the middle. Okay. Yes, I did. Did this one here. Now there's a table of contents for these things. I do wish they would write it on the bottom of the page like they did with the other ones. So this one is, let me find it. Okay, I know what it's called. Oh, it's Finland Julupuki. So if that, I'm sure that makes sense to some of you, and I probably didn't pronounce the word right. But yes, so that's Finland's Christmas. And then I believe I went to the front, and this one is just our standard Christmas, and that's obviously Christmas in America. Like, what's so important to us is money and gifts and the whole commercialism of Christmas, but I won't go on from there. And then we have angels, and that's all I've done in this one. So while I do my coloring books in this process, I'm going to be totting up amounts of how many books that I have, because it's a question I've been asked, and it is a question that I would like to know myself, so I can stop saying, oh, I must have over this amount, or oh, I couldn't hardly have that much. Well, I want to get to know. Now this next one here is from Belba Family's other type of books, and these are mystery mosaics, and they are made up of 3x3 millimeter grids, and within that grid there is a picture that's hidden according to the topic of the book, and you find out what the picture is as you color it. Sometimes you can see the picture when it's shown on camera because of the distance it shows up. So here we can see a man standing, but when I look at this with my eyes up close, I see a hat, and it looks like a head with a hat on it. So that's what the pages are like in here. There's really no point in whoops. I didn't want to show you that yet. I'm looking at them. Now this one is called Gallery, and it shows the most expensive masterpieces in the world. I've got to say this is my least favorite. I've done 2 in here. So there was this one. On this page it tells us what the picture is. So unless you're very much into world art history, these are not necessarily going to be known to you as to what they look like. It's Red Poppies and Daisies by Vincent van Gogh, and it last sold for $61,800. And that one turned out nicely. You see, they're pixelated because they're in squares, but Belba uses the 3 millimeter, 3 inch would be rather large, the 3 millimeter size of squares, so they're quite realistic looking. And the other one I did, and when I did these 2, I just opened up to them to do them for my review. I think that's all I've done, yeah. And then this one is Portrait of Dr. Gachet by Vincent van Gogh, and it last sold for $82,500. These were done in December of 2019. I won't always tell you the date. I know I will forget if I promise to do that, so I'll just try to remember. They're all going to be 2019. Not sure if I got some 2018s in these or not, but I started YouTubing in March of 2019, and I picked up coloring again really gung-ho in January of 2019. Prior to that, I had had a few years where I wasn't really coloring at all. I occasionally would pick something out to color and cut up for my journals. And when I first started coloring, like back in 2015-16, when this all began, I was just coloring to cut out. A little bit of history of me. So this is Square Mandalas. Same thing, this is one of their pixel books. And this one is called Square Mandalas, and they actually have 2 of these out. And I believe I have only done 1 in here. I did that one. Number 29. It probably has a title. Oh no. No titles for these. That's what it belongs to. About. Yeah, no titles for these. So these are really pretty. I like them. I used fine liners for these ones. I guess I did too. No, that's the only one I did. They publish books so fast that I don't get a chance to do many in each book before they're out with the next book. So this is Square Mandalas, Animals in Patterns, and to tell you the truth, I don't think I did one in here at all. No. It takes longer for them to get to me than it does because I'm in Canada. So it might be on to the next book by the time I get the other book in the mail. So this one's Dogs, and this is the pixel grids. I did this one. Now all the dogs in here are real life dogs, and this is Milo, who played in the movie The Mask. See how realistic that is? Like, especially when you're looking at it from a bit of a distance, like you are. For me, looking at it close to my face, it's definitely, you know, pixelated. But from your view, they look really good. So they'd look nice hung on the wall, because you don't look at art by standing by looking at it with your nose to the picture frame. You look at them from across the room. Next one, this was their very first one. It's called The Passion. I'm going to try and keep these videos down to 45 minutes. So we're just going to finish the Belva family books, and then we'll move on to proper coloring books. So this one is called Passion, and it has pictures of things which people are passionate about, like their hobbies. So I've got this one here, Tango Dancers. I love this one, and I love this book. It's one of my favorites. I've got this one, which is, the Passion is probably driving in a pink convertible. And this one here, which I'm really not sure. I think the Passion was this dog, but it's so tiny in the picture. And then I did this one, which is the cover one, the ballet cover picture. And then I did the first one. So this was the first pixel book that they came out with, and it's one of my favorites. So you can see I have more colored in it than any of the others. And then they had Wow Cats. Previously we had the dog one, so we knew a cat one had to come. So I've done this one. This book, the table of contents, lists the cats by breed. And this one, and I think that's all I've done in this. So these are all cats with a background to them. I like the way the dog one is better, where the dogs are in scenes. So I did that one. I actually used Crayola crayons for this one. Just thought I'd try something different. It came out. I think that's it. Unless I did the first. Oh, okay. I did the first two in here. That was when the cross-stitch method came out, and I wanted to try it. I've since learned that I don't like it. It makes the pictures fainter, and I really don't. They're not completely visible. And this one turned out really bad because it has a black background, so the orange and brown kitty doesn't show up very well. So those are the two I tried in cross-stitch mode. I'm not sure if I did another one or not. So there's two Belva family books left. This is their money book, and this is another proper, traditional, shall we call it, coloring book, where it's the picture and it just has the numbers inserted into the picture. Now, is that the only one I did? Okay, I've done two in here. This one is the Money Toad. I usually use water-based markers for these. And this one is the Laughing Buddha. And finally, last one is Woman. And these are really pretty pictures in here. They're just pictures of glamorous women. And there are quotes beside them that or just famous quotes about women. Okay, I've done 2 in here. But this one, see how much bolder and brighter, and you can tell what it is. The traditional block method of coloring in is than the cross-stitch method. So this one was Women Want Love to Be a Novel, Men a Short Story by Daphne du Maurier. And this one is very pretty. There are 3 things men can do with women: love them, suffer for them, or turn them into literature. Stephen Stills. Okay, the first one on here I did in the cross-stitch method. Very faint. If a girl looks swell when she meets you, who gives a damn if she's late? Nobody. And that was by J.D. Salinger. Okay, so we'll move on from there to the regular books. No particular order here. So this is from a set of books that are called, they're by Art Therapy, and they're called Le Carré. The newer editions, like the ones that just came out last month, which would be March, were called Petit Carré. So Petit Carré is little squares, and Le Carré is squares. So these are called squares of art therapy, or art therapy squares. So this one is, these are French books, and they're published by Hachette. And this one is based on elephants. I know my pronunciation isn't very good of French, but I try to do the best that I can because I believe we should make the effort. Alright, this is the only one I did. So this one I used Tombows with, and it was done in January of 2020. And then I went around the edges with a green, oh no, I used a corresponding glitter pen. So green around here, brown around there, and gray around to there. Actually it's silver. And then this one, when I was coloring that, I just couldn't help but color this one. This one I used 3 different gel pens. Used a metallic one, a ordinary gel pen, and a glitter gel pen. So I thought that was so cute. I did them pink because I always think of the pink elephants in Dumbo. Yeah, I have one other of these. And this one is called Boule à Neige, and that is snow globes in English, again by Hachette. And I've done a couple in here. So these are, every picture in here is obviously of a snow globe, so there's snow in it, but it has a whole wide range of different types of pictures in here. So this is, use watercolors for down here, watercolor pencils for down here. That's a gel pen. Oh yeah, that's watercolor as well. A gel pen for these little hearts, and the snow was done with a white Posca. And just kind of give a quick flip through until I come to the next one I did. Okay, so that one is a London Bus, and I just used water soluble markers on this one. Yep, don't know what brand. And all the snow in this book is done in Posca. That was done in December of 2019. I think that's all I've done in here. Oh, no. This one, these remind me of, well, they remind me of two things. The first thing that they reminded me of were the Love Is figurines from the 70s, and they also make me think of the Hummel figurines as well. And this one was done with pencil crayon. Yeah, it was done, I think, with Prismas, and then I got out the Brute Fooners to make the blades of grass. Posca for the snow, and I believe that's all. But I'll let you have a look at the pictures in it. Yep. Okay, so now the next books are by April Amber, and this is her Anime Girls Volume 1. And pretty sure I've only done one picture in here. So these are anime styled girls. Some of them have a full background, other ones like this don't. But they're nice pictures. They're not as nice as her chibi girls, but we can see that her art has gotten better as she worked through her books. So this is the one I did, and I used, that looks like alcohol markers. Yep, not all of it though. Oh yeah, just didn't bleed through. Yeah, so that's alcohol markers. Did that in February of this year. Yeah, that's the only one I've done in here. So next we have Chibi Girls Volume 1. By April Amber. And these are nice big chibi girl pictures. So this is volume 1, and some of these have backgrounds and some of them don't. In volume 2, more of them have backgrounds, and I've just received volume 3, and they all have backgrounds in volume 3. But the girls are all the same. They're really cute. Now, oh, here we go. This is the one I did. And this was done in, I think it was done in gelatos and blending spirits with a little bit of gel pen. Yeah, if not gelatos, then it was these children's water-soluble crayons that I have, which aren't very water-soluble, but they certainly are soluble on with blending fluid. And I guess that's the only one I've done. Yep. Chibi Girls Volume 2 by April Amber. Now, I do have all her books except for, I think she has some dinosaur ones. So we did this one. And this one is done in Tombows. Except for her face and hair. Actually, you know what? It's a combination of Tombows and alcohol markers. And the bushes down here were done with Posca, and I learned how to do this by a Color with Claire tutorial. And I did an outline of oil pastel around it. I used to do that to all my mixed media pictures that I did. And I tried it on here because it gives a bit of a grunge, and I kind of like that, so I don't know. That's what I did. And I think that's the only one I did in here, too. Yeah, I'll just give you a quick look at it, so you can tell if you want it, or if you like it, I should say. There you go. She does have a 3, but it's not in this pile. Now, this is in the wrong spot, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. All my mandalas I have filed together, so this one is under her name for some reason. So there are 48 designs to color, the best of C.L. Aldrich's mandalas. So I haven't done anything in this book yet, but they are gorgeous mandalas. I kind of want to take this one up when I'm finished Jason Hamilton's Volume 1. So, just lovely. Okay, I've had this for a very long time, and it is called Adult Coloring Book Treasury, 110 illustrations from 55 artists. So these are just, it's an anthology. Whoa, just a minute, sorry about that, my footstool fell over. Okay, so the book was printed in 2016, so these will be the independent illustrators that were popular at the time. There isn't a list of them in the front. That's strange, but we can see this first one is, I just knew by looking at it that it was C.L. Aldrich, and it is. It tells you the author and what book it's taken out of. So yeah, another one. Okay, so maybe there's two. This is Tabitha Barnett. Again. Heidi Berthium. Don't know her. The Art of Percy J. Billinghurst. Volume 1. Same person. The Art of Walter Crane. Volume 1. Grace Brannigan. 25 Baroque Grayscale Alphabets. Same person, Geometric Patterns Coloring Book. Ooh, you know, I wrote, this is a fun book to color in. I know I've done at least one in here, I think. There's some grayscale pictures in here too. Who is that by? Fantasy Art of Spirit Wind, Jude and Joe Bittner. Never heard of them. Okay, so it doesn't look like I have anything done in here. Oh, wait a minute. What is that? Terry Sherman. And that gives her Etsy store. So, let's just... Oh. What is that? Alright, we can call that a whip. Ooh. I'll have to go over those with an alcohol marker and as close a color as I can get. What was I thinking? Oh, you know what? I'm going to put a piece of paper there so that I know that I have a whip. Because I don't do whips. Whatever picture I am working on, that is my whip. I don't start another one until I've finished it. I did get myself into a pinch last month when I had 3 going at the same time because of how things worked out. But that was very not the way I do things around here. So I very quickly stopped doing that. Okay, here's one I did, and this was an old one. No date on it, but, you know, 2016, 17. Alice Best Jackson. Imagery from Beyond Coloring Book series. That's quite interesting. Okay, I'm going to leave that one out because I actually have a whip in it. Alright, so now we're going on to my hardcover books, and I will not flip through these mostly because everybody has seen these books. They're the same hardcover books that everybody else has. So this is Emily Lyda Hall Oberg, and I have both her books. I was scared for the longest time to color in my hardcover books. And then I think I went through them doing one page from each, just to kind of like break the ice in them. And now I'm no longer afraid to color in them. Okay, is that the only picture I did in here? It's a boring one. Consider what else there is in here. Okay, so I did this one and I forgot to stamp it. Yeah, I didn't start stamping my pages until a little bit into... No, that's not true because I have... Oh no, that's 2020. Yeah, in 2019, a little bit into it is when I started stamping my pages. So this was done with Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. Yeah, except for the apple, I went over that with Prismacolors probably, and the bug is done with a gel pen. And that is the only picture I've done in there. Oh, I can't wait to do more. That makes me want to keep it out. Okay, then Flora by Maria Trolle. Now, she's my favorite. Of the hardcover book illustrators. I believe I only have one done in here too. Oh, I'm sure. Maybe that is the only one I did. Okay, so yeah, I really like this one. It turned out well. Only problem is that I did some color sleep. I did some sleep coloring and got some marks down here which I couldn't erase. So this was done with Gansai Tambi, the whole thing, and then I went over the lily pads with some sort of pencil. And I don't know. You know what? It looks like I went over it with... Actually, okay. Let me start again. The water is done with Gansai Tambi. The rest of it is done with watercolor pencils. And those would be Albrecht Dürer? Yeah, pretty sure they are. And that's the only picture I've done in here. I like to sit down and look at these books and imagine I'm coloring some of them, you know, pick out the colors that I would do such and such, and sometimes that makes me think I've colored it. So I can see them so clearly in my head. So we have Maria Trolle's Twilight Garden, and we're just going to finish up the hardcovers here, and then we'll end this video. Okay, so I believe this is the only one I've done in here. This was done with Koh-i-Noor watercolor pencils, and the background too. I was just learning how to do backgrounds with the watercolor crayons, watercolor pencil. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only one I've done in here. Yeah, as I said, I went through my hardcovers and christened them by doing one picture in them. But I am, oh, what, I put a mark in my thing. But I am checking just to make sure I don't do another one. So this is, forgot to look, Nightfall by Maria Trolle. I think this is my favorite. Okay, I did this one. And this one was done with Prismacolors, and the yellow is Pan Pastel. Gel pen. Yeah, I think I used gel pen for the stems and for the black on the butterfly. And I know that's the only one. Oh no, hey, see, look. I'm looking. So I did do two in here. This was August of 2019. So obviously I used acrylic paint for the background and some gel pen for the stars. These are Prismas that I did the rest of the picture with. Yeah, I think actually we're just going to finish Maria Trolle, or Trolle. So this is Droom Reese. And this has fantastic paper in it. Oh my Lord. It's beautiful paper. And it's mostly one-sided, so you can use alcohol markers in this book, except for when you get to pages like this. Then this will have a picture on it too. So yeah, I just love this book. And interested to see if I did use alcohol markers. I was sure I did a page that had the clouds on it. Just a minute. No, I guess that's all I did. And I did do it in alcohol markers. I'm pretty sure I used my my Copics. Oh, I couldn't think of what the word was there. All I was thinking was COVID. Copic. And then there's little butterflies in there, which I did with gel pen. So yeah, I like doing wreaths. They're real fun. And finally, for Maria Trolle, I have Botanicum. And this is the Dutch edition. And oh, the paper, again, is just dreamy. It's not as thick as Droom Reese, but it is like almost. It's a very thick and beautifully soft paper. Lovely to work on. I hope that you guys who got the English edition were given as nice a paper as this. Alright, so again, I know I've got one done in here. This one right here, I really like this one. That was kind of one of my actual attempts at doing fur. It doesn't look that great, but it does make it look like, it looks like hair, actually, rather than fur. So maybe if I take that and use that on an animal that has hair, we might be getting somewhere. So this was done with, gotta say, Prismas with that blending on there. Those have gotta be Prismas. And I'm sure that's the only one that I've done in here. Yep. Okay, well, I wanted to keep my videos around 45 minutes, and if we stop there at the end of the Maria Trolles, we have gone over the 45 minutes, but we are stopping at a nice almost 50 minutes. So thank you for watching. If you want a flip of any book that I have shown you today, please leave a email me. My email's down below. Leave a message in the comments and I will do a flip for you, but you may want to check and see if I've already done one. That I have a playlist called Book and Magazine Flips. It would be in there. Also, if you want anything, if you want me to do anything with any of these books, just let me know. So, that's it, and I will see you next time with part 2. So, in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. We're getting there.